guys.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Kaitlyn.
And we are your best friends.
Welcome back to our channel. Woo! Today we are talking about social anxiety. Got anything to say on that?
If you have social anxiety, you need to watch this video.
We'll just leave it at that. You're never going to find another video like this on the
Yeah.
internet. I promise you that.
It's so true.
Before we get into it, please subscribe to our channel. We're just normal girls, literally. You have no idea how much it means to us to see one person subscribing to this channel and being a part of our friend group. Follow us on Instagram at Sarah and Kaitlyn just to see our fun life and get a little bit of behind the scenes.
Yeah, and our website, yourbestfriends.org, to get deeper and see why we're even on YouTube.
I just want to quickly start by saying what we want you with social anxiety to get out of this video. And Sarah, you add anything that I leave out. But
yes.
If you are below the age of 18, or if you're anybody who has social anxiety, and you've been told that you have social anxiety and you get nervous, let's say before school, or you get nervous trying new things, or
around people.
You get nervous around people, so you just don't have a lot of friends right now, and you've been diagnosed or told by TikTok or by your parents that you have social anxiety. This video is here to intercept the path of your life right now, because we want to make you feel free. We want this video to show you that actually you are normal. There's nothing wrong with your brain. You are a normal kid who gets nervous sometimes, and by labeling it as a mental disorder, you are powerless to your situation. You will run out on things that are good for you. You will run out on people that are good for you for a feeling that is so regular and normal. But the more that you run from that fear and label it as something that's just incurable and something that's wrong with you, the worse this fear is going to get, the more cemented it's going to be in your mind. And we're realizing that not many people have the guts to say this to you because it could be technically offensive, but we don't really care. We want you to have a good life. We want you to know Jesus, whether you're religious or not, and we want you to be set free, and we want to get you to question the narrative that TikTok is feeding you, the narrative that the world is feeding you, the narrative that even your parents
accept over you.
Accept for your life. We don't accept that for your life.
What got us to make this video is you and I have been starting to encounter younger kids in our personal lives calling and diagnosing themselves with anxiety or social anxiety. And we're starting to pick up on patterns. And I am a thinker, so I don't just see things and I don't think about it. I'm wondering, how is it that mental health awareness and all of these things for mental health, you would think, right? You would think that with the increase of awareness and therapy and all these things, that it would be getting better. I'm just curious why, as the hype for all these mental health things and accept your thing and thank the doctors for the pills, I would just assume that as the awareness is going up, the people are getting better.
Right? We have more knowledge now, so
Yeah.
supposedly it should be less frequent.
So we're wanting to know why kids at younger and younger ages are starting to even know the word anxiety, feel anxiety, and it's only getting worse. And if you're young, it's not just you, it's also adults who are being frozen and accepting these narratives. And like Kaitlyn just said, we would rather tell you that we don't accept that over your life than for everybody in your life to just accept that that's how you're gonna stay. Because we're gonna talk about it more, but it only gets worse as you accept those narratives. It's only gonna get worse. One thing I wanna add into the picture is that our parents are just doing the best that they know how. And I think that the younger kids, right now their parents are like millennials and they're younger. So they are doing their best by just saying, oh yeah, she or he just has anxiety. They just need to step out for a second. Our parents think they're doing the best by accepting those words over us. But if our parents don't fight for these diseases to not be a part of our lives, who will? So if your parents not saying, no, I don't accept that for you. You are going to get through practice. You are going to get through that event. You are going to show up to that club. You're going to feel nervous. You're going to be scared. But you'll thank me at the end when I don't let you quit. And we're seeing less and less parents because the world is even telling our loving parents who are just doing their best. The world is telling them to help them and validate their feelings and validate their emotions. But it's only hurting us. It's only hurting us because I wouldn't say that your feelings are valid. I would say your feelings are your feelings. You feel them, like they're there.
But you don't have to obey them.
You don't have to obey them. They're not meant to be obeyed. They are not reality. And they are not really that valid. They're valid because they're validly your feelings, but that doesn't mean they're right. I'm excited for this video because it's made out of complete love, and everything you just said is so true. We want to intercept the path that you're heading, because if you actually think about what comes with accepting that narrative, nothing good comes from it. Nothing good even comes from Mental Health Awareness Month.
And so intercepting the path.
Yeah.
What is the path that we see?
What is the path?
The path is this. You are just a normal person who gets nervous before things. Maybe you get more nervous than others. I'm not saying that you don't get nervous. I have dealt with anxiety. I know that you're not going to die from it, okay? So what credibility do we have to talk about it? Well, I've dealt with it. You're a normal person who gets nervous around people. Maybe when you were a little younger as a child, you didn't get put in enough situations where you had to be social. So you might be a little socially awkward. You might be thinking the worst case scenario before you join a new club. You might get nervous before school.
You might want to cry because you're so scared.
Okay, so if we have this idea that you have social anxiety now, and you have a parent that says, yeah, you just have social anxiety, and you have doctors that say, yeah, there's just something wrong with your brain. You have social anxiety, here's some pills. And then we have this culture that says that we need to validate your feelings all the time, that your mental health matters, don't do anything that triggers your anxiety. You are going to get nervous, and your parents or whoever's telling you that you have this disease is going to keep you from doing things that scare you in the name of validating your emotions. A lot of this world loves psychology so much. Well, psychology actually says that the more that you run from irrational fears, the stronger that those fears get. So I'm not one for touting all this psychology, but by saying that it's healthy for you to step out every time you're scared or to validate this anxiety every time you're nervous is going to only make those fears more irrational. Then what happens? Okay, then you get put on pills, which, by the way, you're not going to die from anxiety, so you really don't need pills that numb your reality. Okay, look up the side effects of anxiety pills that are being given to children. They are numbing your hormones, they're messing with your reality, everything's toned down. Then you start avoiding things that are good for you. You don't make a lot of friends. You don't ever get pushed to step outside your comfort zone. You are just taught that every time you feel this nervousness and this anxiety, that you should just go hide in a corner.
Because that's your anxiety. So let me listen to the anxiety and let me go hide.
And then what happens? 3 years later, you have no friends. Your reality has been numbed by pills. Your hormones are all messed up. You are now just sad and depressed. And now you're starting to get suicidal thoughts because you're lonely and you just have been told for the past 5 years of your life that something's just wrong with you and that your situation is hopeless. And we want you to question if that's the path you want to be on, and if there's really anything wrong with you, or if you're just a normal human being that gets nervous before doing things that are scary. It's scary to try a new club. It's scary to go to school sometimes. Kids can be really mean. It's scary when you're in middle school or high school and you're joining a new sport, or you're showing up to school with these kids that are not so nice to you. I'm not saying that you're not going to be scared, but does that really have to be labeled as a disease that you now have to obey and run from the things that make you scared? I don't think so.
No, because I still get extremely nervous.
Me too.
And if somebody were to tell me, oh, that's called anxiety, Well, then every time I get nervous, I'm like, my anxiety's coming out. And then when I'm speaking that over myself, even more anxiety comes out. It is so crazy. It is so crazy.
Yeah.
But if somebody were to tell me, you're just nervous, you got to push through, which is what, parents were doing to their kids 15 years ago, then it would be a different story. So what are some things that we want for you? What are some things that we want for them? What I'm seeing a big problem is kids are not just being allowed to be kids. You guys are supposed to be playing right now. You're supposed to be outside. You're supposed to be pushed to do scary things. And if you're watching this and if you're not really pushed to do scary things, let's say you have parents who just like let you decide whatever you want to do, this stinks, but that means that you kind of got to take things into your own hands and start forcing yourself to do scary things. And I'm saying that as if you were me when I was younger. Thankfully, my parents pushed me, but if they didn't, I would have to learn. Because what do we want for you? We want you to have a healthy childhood. We want you to have so much fun with your friends. We want you to feel joy. We don't want you to feel scared. We don't want you to feel suicidal in your room. We don't want you to sit in darkness. We want you eventually one day to get married and to have kids and for your kids to be amazing because you're amazing. We want you to have the life that people dream about, a healthy life. That doesn't mean perfect because I still get nervous all the time. So now that you know that's what we want for you, how you're going to get there is to not back down when you feel nervousness. It's just being nervous. Just 2 days ago, I showed up to this running thing and I didn't know anybody. And I only went because I realized the only reason I wouldn't go is because I was nervous. And so I was like, that means I have to go. And the worst thing is to grow as a person and to get over your anxiety, to get over these things. The worst part about it is it's by doing the things that lie to you. Like you need to just stop. And it is just so important for you to know what Kaitlyn said. You will not die from anxiety.
Exactly.
You see, it's like what is going on in this world that it's so in your face how it's like not rational, but yet we all accept it. You don't die from anxiety, but yet why are there pills going out for it? Like pills for my depression, pills for my nervousness, because anxiety even could lead to depression. We're not saying you don't feel these things, and we're not telling you to not feel these things. We're telling you to feel it and continue on. That's the point. All of us feel these things, but some of us weren't told that it's a debilitating disease that you need pills for. And so I have felt depressed, and I have felt anxious and nervous for things. I have always since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Just get nervous. But thank goodness nobody told me it's so bad. That's just who she is. That's just where she's going. She was just born like that. Thank goodness did not have parents who accepted that over me.
And this is so important that you're not going to die, because I could see now your whole reality is basically being questioned right now. If you've watched to this point and you believe you have social anxiety, because you're probably wondering, is there even something wrong with my brain? Like, am I just normal? But online, all these psychologists say that I should take care of myself first and I should not do the things that scare me. So you guys are basically contradicting everything. You are not going to die. Your mental health is not going to get worse by doing things that scare you. That's the crazy thing, is these psychologists are putting out this advice that gets you to just not enjoy your childhood, to just do these things that
even Instagrammers are putting it out.
Instagrammers who know nothing.
Self-care hacks and tips.
All these things. Well, guess what? Your anxiety is only going to get worse if you keep serving it. And you're only going to head on the path of worse, more sadness, more loneliness if you keep serving it. And for a second, if you decide to do something scary, okay, I'll give you an example from my life. When I was in middle school, I really wanted to do cheerleading. And I was so nervous for cheerleading. I technically had anxiety. Technically, according to the world's terms now, but really I was just a normal kid who was nervous to try something new.
Me too.
So all summer, cheerleading was starting, and I would think about it, and I would get so nervous. I would think about the girls that were going to do cheerleading, and I would wonder if I would get along with them or if they were going to be mean to me. On the way to the first practice after summer ended, I literally had the worst butterflies in my stomach. I felt so nervous. My mind was racing about all the things that could go wrong. And I went and I was nervous. And before every cheer practice for a few weeks, I was super nervous. I even struggled to talk to people. Okay, so yes, technically, according to this definition, I had social anxiety.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that my mom didn't say, oh, you don't have to go, honey. Just stay at home. Or better yet, you just have social anxiety. How powerless would that make me feel?
I just got this thing. I just have it. I just have it.
And then what would have happened? Then I would have never done cheerleading. Big part of my life. Big way that I met friends. So I would have not gotten exercise and had fun like a kid and did sports that I wanted to do. I would have had less friends. And I would have been depressed and powerless, all because someone would have told me that this is just who I am and I should just serve those nervous feelings. You are not going to die from doing scary things. And I'm sorry if you have parents or people in your life that are speaking this really destructive narrative over you. You are not powerless to your nervous thoughts. You are not powerless to them. And if you are nervous about something, that's why we need God. Can you just, even if you don't know God, can you pray before you go to something and just ask that He gives you the strength to get through it? It doesn't mean that the nervous feelings go away. It just means that it's not all on your own strength. It's not on your own feelings. You have a helper who's there to help you. So you're not going to die. It's not that big of a deal. And in fact, it's only going to get worse if you keep listening to this horrible advice that the world is giving you for how to deal with this.
Yeah, and in the kindest way possible, I just thought that the weird thing is the people who give this, who like scream the loudest about mental health, the people who scream the loudest about mental health, the people who scream the loudest about self-care tips, do you know why they do that? It's because they have it. I don't mean that in a mean way, but would you rather listen to the advice of people who feel what you have felt but didn't become self-obsessed with it? Or do you literally want to listen to the people who are only screaming for this awareness and for these tips because they're in a bathtub, anxious and nervous? You want to listen to the people who have the life that you want through and through, not just on Instagram. And Kaitlyn and I feel very human emotions all the time.
All the time.
Our lives are too normal. They're too boring sometimes. It's too lonely sometimes. I feel too guilty sometimes. I feel too regretful sometimes. I get too insecure sometimes. We live the normal life. But man, do we have the answer to the good life. And it's the name of Jesus Christ. It's God who says that it's not all about you. I got something way better for you when you lay down your life. And we have so much joy. We have so much fun because we have community. We have honesty. We have communication. So we want big things for you. And the number one way to start it is you gotta do scary things. You've got to do scary things. You've got to do the things that your mind doesn't want to do. Why? Because the more and more you do things that your mind does not want to do, the more you freaking smash the lies. You smash them and you kill them. And we want that for you. We love you so much. We really do. That's why we're on here. We want to intercept the direction of your life. We do not want you to head on the path of the regular world. No. Even our most famous people, you guys, even the richest people, they have anxiety. They have depression. We have our celebrities dying from drug overdoses. We're just here to get you to question. You see, this world, it's not all glittery and gold. These people are heading down like sheep going down a mountain. Like they're all just following each other. And we're here yelling, guys, this makes no sense. Why are you going that way? Yes, we love you so much. And I want you guys to have what we have. And that's a life that loves the Lord God with all their heart, mind, and strength and surrenders to our own fleshly stuff. I have the best life ever, and I know you do too, in the most normal way. So that's what I gotta say.
If you're watching this and you are frustrated or you're confused about what to do next, or you're still not entirely sure, please comment down below things that you want us to add context to, questions that you have, advice that you have about this. We literally have a whole channel because we want to set you free from the narrative of this world, and we want to help you. So don't just not ask any questions. Like, give us a chance to pour into your life. Don't just be frustrated or confused or just watch this video and then run. Comment down below. Let's talk about it.
Email us on our website. You'll find it there if you want to be more personal. And we could make a whole other video addressing exactly what you need to be addressed, because we're making this for you.
If you get nothing else out of this video, maybe it's just you have permission to just be a normal kid and tell yourself that you are just normal and there's nothing wrong with your brain. You're just normal, and you get nervous. And screw those people, in a loving way, that are trying to tell you that you're not normal and that there's just something wrong with you and that you're just gonna end up on a path of depression and suicide because of this. That's not...
Yeah. In the nicest way, screw those people, because that's just not right.
It's not right. You're just a kid. You're just a normal person. Okay? Be free. So that's what I gotta say.
Awesome.
We love you guys so much. That's why we do this video, even if this is the first time on our channel. That's why we do this, because we love you. We make these videos for the one person who needs to hear it. So if you're listening to this point, it's you. You're the one.
Yes. Please subscribe, join our friend group. We gave you all the info in the beginning, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.